may shock you, but our society is killing itself. And the reason I say that is because we are living now in a time when people are becoming increasingly more lonely. Even though there's more people on the planet than ever before, but we don't interact with people anymore. We live in big houses, separated from our fellow family members. We live in communities where we might know our next door neighbour on one side, but generally not anyone else. And at work, we go to work, but we don't always integrate our work colleagues into our daily life. Being lonely is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Has the same health impacts, the same longevity impacts on you. So living the way that we do is only killing us. And Australia has the largest housing, individual family residences in the world. So what's being built now is bigger than anywhere else around the globe. So really that's a concern. And I look at our family experience and I know that we moved from a smaller house with our 3 boys sharing a room, and we'd bump into each other all the time. And we knew each other, and it was a lot more incidental connections. We've moved into a bigger house where everyone has their own bedroom now. And I'm lucky to see some of my boys, one morning to the next. They'll roam out to the kitchen to grab a bite to eat and might say, "Oh, hello." And that's the extent of the interaction. I might get a grunt back if I'm lucky. So we're really trying to change that. So what are we talking about here? Well, our change is co-housing. Now you might say, well, what's co-housing? There's lots of stuff going up down at Bowden that looks like co-housing. Now, well, that's apartments. They're saying they're building a community. But one of the key things about co-housing is that it revolves around the idea of a co-house. Now that co-house is somewhere where you and me bump into each other doing activities that we might share together. So we might be sharing a meal, or there's a common workshop where instead of me owning a drill and you owning a drill and you owning a drill, we have one drill and we all share it and we use it. But not only have we got one drill amongst us, we've got one workshop, and in our communities we have people that are this high and people that are my height and people that are older and people that are younger that are interested in using that drill. But not everyone knows how to use a drill. But in a workshop where generations can mix and people with lots of different experiences can connect with each other, all of a sudden we've got this incidental transfer of knowledge happening. We've got this community that's being built. We've got something that changes people's lives. So when we're talking about co-housing, we're actually talking about a fundamental change in the way that we live. All of a sudden we're becoming connected. It's not just waving to someone who's come out to the fridge because they're hungry. It's actually having meaningful interactions. It's restoring that transfer of knowledge. We lost a lot when we industrialised, because all of a sudden the apprentices disappeared from our society. That connection with generations disappeared. Co-housing is a way to reconnect with the people that you live with and live in a more meaningful way. So when we have co-housing, there's actually proof that it creates a much more healthy outcome for people. And insurers in the UK, where there's a lot more co-housing than's happening in Australia, they're actually recognising that by having in lower insurance premiums for people that live in co-housing, because they know that they live healthier lives, they know that they live longer, they know that they don't have to go into care facilities, they can age in place over time. And so the benefits to living in co-housing are extremely healthful, and they're really to our advantage. Where we need help, we've built some great foundations in our community so far. We've put down lots of roots into the people that have joined us along the way and shared our vision about how we're going to govern ourselves and what our common values are, what our ethics are, how we want this thing to happen. But we're really at the stage now where we need some help around our legal structure, what that's really going to mean, how we're going to formalise that, but also looking at people that have got building expertise and understand how the financial modelling and how we can make that work. Because there's a lot of different ideas that we're throwing around in our heads. We really need to have some help to make those ideas have real value, and so that when we are a cooperative, we've got something that's real, that people can grasp hold of and say, oh, I understand that, right, I get it. I know what you're doing, I want in. So the advantage of you acting today and getting in contact with us and being part of our community and helping us become the cooperative that we want to be is becoming known as the trusted advisor in this space. Because let's face it, as Wardy was saying, you know, there's hardly anyone in this cooperative space, and they're all old. We need some young people, we need people that are current. We need your help, because if you're the trusted advisor, and we know that there's going to be more cooperatives in Australia, you're going to be the go-to person. So that's what we need today. Thank you.